everybody. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday, another amazing episode, and I have a phenomenal guest with us today. So today I have Chris Deschamps, and he is a member of BNI Paragon. He's also a director for BNI Arizona in the Southeast Valley. So if you don't know Chris, you definitely should get to know him. Today's amazing topic, and he's also the author of this amazing book, Insane ROI, and I will definitely give you all of the information about his website, and especially on the topic today, because the documents and the supporting material for our topic today can be found right on his website. So I'm super excited to share this information with you today. So how many of you are in your chapters? Maybe you're finding yourself not having time to do all of the one-to-ones that you want, or you're having those one-to-ones, but maybe it's not producing the results that you're looking for. Maybe you're either you're in a bigger chapter and it's just overwhelming to get to know all of the members in the chapter, or you're in a smaller chapter and you're still struggling with the time commitment to fit all of the one-to-ones in. Well, we have an amazing education moment for you guys today, because it's all about the strategy that Chris created, and it's all about group one-to-ones and the strategy behind it. Because yes, we can say have group one-to-ones, but if we don't have the tools to back that up, then you're just meeting with a group of people, maybe over coffee or drinks. So this gives you guys the strategies behind creating those group one-to-ones, which is just going to be phenomenal. So super excited to have you, Chris. Remember, guys, that this education counts as one chapter education unit, so make sure to record it in BNI Connect, either on the app or online. So welcome, Chris.
Thank
you. Tell us a little bit about your program that you started.
So basically what I came up with is one of the challenges that you talked about is low quality one-to-ones, and the fact that you don't have the time to get those all done. The quality and the time frame are two things we want to solve. So I came up with an idea of doing a hybrid. So it's a combination of a one-to-one and a 10-minute presentation, actually. It's those two things together. So you get some of the elements of what a great 10-minute presentation is, and some of the elements of a great one-to-one. You put it together with a lot of emotion, and we've been getting phenomenal results with it.
Awesome.
So the basic idea, do you want to walk right into it?
Yeah, please do.
Let's rock and roll. So the basic idea of it is we are going to cover 4 specific areas, and this is you'll be able to see this on the website. This is a copy of the form that we use. So we have people go through prepare to talk about 4 different areas. So the structure of it is each person gets to speak for 3 minutes in each of the 4 categories.
Okay.
So they'll go through a 3-minute presentation for each of those areas. It goes in a rotation, so each person goes on one portion of it, and then we go through the next rotation, and then when we get done, we do a final rotation where it's a wild card round where something that came up during that conversation with someone, they get to be asked questions from the other 3 that are there. So we tried more than 4 people. It was just too many.
Okay.
4 people is the perfect combination. So the basic 4 areas that we do talk about is we go through personal. So the first thing somebody gets to talk about is they get to talk about themselves. We all like to talk about ourselves.
Absolutely.
But we want you to relate that to things that are connected or part of your business, but we want to feel your personality. So we go through personal, and you talk about things that are important to you personally. And then you talk about your business and what is important to your business. What are the things that they need to know in your business? And what I love about this is you get to talk about it, but within that structured format, it's different than a normal one-to-one because you don't get interrupted. You get 3 full minutes to talk completely through it, so you can go through a presentation, and we do a setup for you for that as well. Then we go back through on the second part and talk about how to do the best referrals that you have. Who's your most important referral, and we always talk about who's that big referral, that most important referral that you would want to get.
Like the big fish.
The big fish. What's that big fish? Because I think we always need to be focusing on that. So we want to talk about the day-to-day referrals, but what's that one big one that's going to alter and change your business? So we go through that, and then on the last one, and this is where everything comes together, and this is where this is been really incredible to experience, is we talk about your why. So you get 3 minutes to tell people what wakes you up every day and what is it that connects you into what you're doing, and that feeling and the drive behind it. And that's what has given these the big teeth and the incredible, and I got a story at the end if you want to hear it, about how things happen and how you learn about people so quickly in these. We spend usually an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. I know more about somebody, 4 or 3 different people, in an hour and 15 minutes than I've ever done before in other one-to-ones. So incredible approach.
Yeah, and you guys know, I've talked about in previous videos, it's all about your why. And a huge component of that is, if you haven't seen Simon Sinek's Start With Why, you need to check that out, because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Absolutely.
So that's a huge component to it. So if you guys are not sharing your why, start using this program and go through all of those 4 areas that Chris talked about. And like he said, the key component is 4 people, not any more than 4 people. They've tested it out and doesn't work.
It's the perfect group.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I do is I do a setup email that has a list of data, so it's great prep, so you aren't just winging it. We actually have questions to ask that you ask yourself, so you fill that out properly, and just tips on how to do it right. So it gets you all set up and prepared. And then we also, and this is on the website, we have a form. I'll give you a little hint, because most people want to have more preparation than what they do, what they can write down. I would say type it out, but the format for it is going to be on the form in the website. So it's all set up in one unit for people. So we put it together as a whole unit. But if you want to type it out and have the things you're presenting on a sheet of paper separately, you can do that.
Wonderful. And I will also upload the information as well to the BNI Arizona page too. So that way there's multiple sources of where you can find this information. And so as we're starting this program, what kind of tips do you have for our chapter members that are viewing this, getting the information for the first time, and as they go into setting up this program in their own chapters and they find their other 3 members that they want to meet with, what are some key tips that you would say are like the essential pieces with this program?
I've got 4 specifics. So the very first one that I wrote down is be prepared to give really good answers. So what you see sometimes in one-to-ones is people just simply don't prepare. They don't come prepared with good information. If you're going to do one of these, do not wing it. Come in with everything prepared. Know what you're going to talk about. Have it fully prepared front to back. That's where all the value comes in.
Yeah, and that sounds familiar, huh, guys? Because in my other Wisdom Wednesdays, I have told you to be specific. You have to be, or to be terrific, you have to be specific. And that goes with your featured presentations as well. So it all ties in together. So with this program, you can't just wing it. You got to be prepared and you have to be specific. So awesome. What's your next tip?
So the next one is speak from the heart, not from a sales pitch. This is all about connecting to the person, and that's where everything gets the teeth that it has, is because we're talking about the reality and that real person. So, and it's not about a sales pitch. I know a lot of one-to-ones end up being a sales pitch, and that's what we try to avoid. This is about creating points of connection. You want to see and hear and experience points of connection, because this is a starting point. In reality, if you don't know somebody, this is a perfect way to get to know them. Even if they're not going to be a power partner, there's a chance to get those points of connection if somebody has that for you. But if it's somebody you've already met with, I absolutely guarantee you're going to get to know them on a deeper level once you get through this. So even if you've already done a one-to-one with someone, doing it in this format is going to help.
Yeah, and another little tip that I learned even through this conference, because we're in Texas right now for the National BNI Conference, one of the things that they had mentioned that really resonated was you don't sell to your members, you sell through your members. So make sure, even if you're not using this program, as you're having one-to-ones with other members and other chapters or your chapter, make sure you are not using it as a sales pitch. That is the #1 turnoff. I don't know if it's happened to you, it's definitely happened to me before. So you don't want to sell to your members. That's your sales team. You want to sell through them. So making sure to educate them as much as possible to be able to sell through them that's going to be the #1 key. So what's your
Absolutely.
next tip, Chris?
I've got one more.
All right.
Expect sensory overload. Every time I went through one of these,
Oh, yeah.
it is unbelievable, and that's really why we dialed it down to being 4 people. Because when you have people sharing honestly and emotionally about things that matter to them, it is incredible the power that it has behind it. It has altered the way I see one-to-ones. I don't know, I will still do normal one-to-ones because they're critical, and it's a setup for it, but I see the way I do one-to-ones completely differently now when we went in this format. And the thing that you love, like we all know, is it's such a structured format, and there's peer pressure because we're all doing it the same way. It allows people to be free, be open, and the sensory overload part has been real every single time I've done it. So expect it, be prepared for it, rock and roll. It's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, especially with all of the different areas. I could definitely tell that there could be a sensory overload with all of the details. This program is incredible, guys. Definitely check it out. The website, and I will also put it in the details in this post, is insaneroibook.com, and it's in the resources and business tools tab. All of the documents are right in there. Any other tips for the website, or they just go right to that
They
tab?
can go right to the tab and then get
Perfect.
into that. And then the only thing is, I'll tell you a story if you want that.
Yeah,
We'll close it
yeah,
out.
absolutely.
So I've got one story that came out. It was the very first one that I did, and somebody talked about something that they always kept a $100 bill in his wallet, and he showed us exactly where it was in his wallet. And he said he loved to go and donate to people. He can't really do it anonymously, but he tried to do it if he could. But I knew what the meaning was behind that, and when they travel, they always try to get rid of this $100 bill. Well, we were in our chapter meeting, and somebody was asking for a donation, and he said, the only thing he said, here's $100, get 4 of these, or whatever the amount was. I knew exactly, because of that meeting, what that meant and what that $100, where it came from in his wallet. It absolutely changes the way you connect with people and you see people differently. I have never experienced anything like that in my life. I encourage you to try it because it has blown me away. It changes the level and the deepness of the relationships. So
Yeah.
I know you're trying to do that as well. So
Absolutely.
highly recommend it.
Well, thank you so much for joining me
Absolutely.
today, Chris. Definitely remember to use one chapter education unit for watching this amazing Wisdom Wednesday video. And just a reminder, I am here every single week, every Wednesday, posting at 3 p.m. for some education tips of the week. And I will see you all next week. Have a great day, guys.